Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another foundation review and like wear test. So today I'm going to be trying out the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation, and this is in the shade F1. I'm not sure about the colour of this. I don't know if it'll be the right colour, we'll have to see. I've never tried a foundation by Makeup Revolution before. But I have seen quite a few people saying that they like this foundation, and this was only like £4 or £5 this was. And I'm also going to be testing the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. So everybody has been talking about this on YouTube now for ages. Everybody's been loving this concealer. This is in the shade C1. So yeah, I'm just gonna test these out and see if they're as good as people say. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so I always use a primer water before I apply my foundation. I don't tend to always use primers, but I always use a water. So I'm just going to quickly spray this over my face. This is the Barry M Flawless Hydro Fix Primer Water. And with the foundation today, I am going to be applying half of my face with a brush and half with a sponge. Typically with foundation sticks I tend to prefer sponges, but I am going to try out using both today. So I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush for this side of my face, and then I'm going to use this Morphe sponge then for this side of my face. Okay, so I definitely prefer the finish of the sponge, so I'm just going to go over this side with the sponge because I do not like the finish with the brush. Okay, so I'm pretty shocked right now at this. I think this is giving me a nice coverage. It's a nice medium to full coverage actually. It matches my skin pretty well. The only thing I've noticed is that it's very, very dewy, this foundation. It looks greasy on my skin because I do have oily skin, so I would definitely need to set this with a lot of powder. It is very dewy, so hopefully that can be solved with some powder, but I do like it so far. It's quite full coverage actually, and the colour's pretty good. I actually don't think you need to apply as much as I did because it is so full coverage, so that's pretty good, and that's amazing for a £4 foundation. Right then, let's try out the concealer. So this is in the shade C1. Apparently the shades like correspond with each other, so if you're an F1 in the foundation, you're going to be a C1 in the concealer. If you're an F5 in the foundation, you're going to be a C5 in the concealer. That's apparently what I've read, so just in case you're wondering. It looks a bit like the Tarte Shape Tape. Everybody is comparing this to the Tarte Shape Tape. I've never used that, so I can't compare it to it. But let's try it. I'm just going to do a little bit because apparently it is so full coverage. So we'll just do a little bit. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to blend that out. Oh my gosh. I am shocked. That is such a good concealer. Well, I'm really impressed with Makeup Revolution. These were like £4. Bargain, man, and they're so good. Right, let's zoom you in and see how my face is looking. So I think that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty impressed, I gotta say. So I'm just going to finish up the rest of my face makeup off camera, and then I will come back and share some thoughts with you guys. Okay, so I am back after applying the rest of my makeup, and I'm just really impressed. I love the way that it looks with the powder on top. I think that the powder really does finish it well, and it mattifies it, and it just makes it look silky smooth on the skin. So I would recommend using a powder for this foundation. So yeah, overall for this foundation I'm really impressed. I love the coverage, I love the colour, I like the finish after powder on top of it, and yeah, so I just really hope that this looks good throughout the day. I hope it performs well. And for the concealer, I'm blown away with the coverage on the concealer. It is really full coverage, and I also hope that this performs well throughout the day. I really hope that this doesn't crease. too badly throughout the day. But yeah, for £4 each or £5 each, you can't go wrong. I would definitely recommend trying these out. I will check back in now in 2 hours. So it's currently 10 AM, so I'll check back in 2 hours, then 6 hours, and then around 8 hours, depending how long I last throughout the day. I am expecting it to look pretty messy around the nose because I do have very dry skin at the minute around my nose. It's very cakey around my nose, so I'm not expecting it to look great around my nose at the minute. But we shall see. So I will check back in 2 hours, so I'll see you then. Okay, so it's been 2 hours since I first applied my foundation and concealer, and so far I haven't noticed any major issues other than it is slightly cakey around my nose and a little bit around my lips area, but I am quite dry around that area at the minute. And that usually happens with foundations anyway for me. This is nothing different to any other foundation. But it's looking good so far. The concealer hasn't really creased much. I think the foundation is still looking pretty good. So far so good. Okay, now I am in the car, so there's going to be some noises in the background. But it's been 6 hours now since I first applied the foundation. And I have noticed that my face is slightly, not oily, but it's starting to get oily, and that would mean just to do a touch up of powder. And obviously when I first applied it, it was quite dewy, so maybe throughout the day it does need to be set again with powder, which is a bit annoying, but for a £4 foundation, you know, what can you expect? But another thing, I think I applied a bit too much because I didn't realise how full coverage it was, and it is looking very slightly a bit too cakey. But yeah, it's not bad. It's looking okay, like throughout the day. I would definitely wear this again, but obviously next time I'll just apply a less amount and I'd have to touch it up with more powder throughout the day. But so far, you know, it's good for a £4 foundation. So I'll check back in again now in a couple of hours and see how it's looking at the end of the day. Okay, so it's been about 8 or 9 hours now since I first put on this foundation, and to be honest, there's not really much change from my last check-in. So it is still a little bit oily, so it would need to be touched up with some powder, but it's actually looking pretty good around my nose. I thought it would cake up more than it has, but it's not too bad. I don't know if you can see, it is cakey, but normally foundations get worse than this, so it's not too bad. So, you know, I am impressed with this foundation and the concealer. The concealer, it hasn't really creased that much, and it still looks nice on my face, so yeah, I'm really impressed. Okay, so that completes this video. This was my foundation and concealer wear test and review video. So this is what I thought of the Makeup Revolution foundation stick and concealer. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not already, so you can see all my other videos, and leave a comment down below of if you've tried this foundation or concealer. Let me know what you think. Let me know if your favourite foundation or your favourite concealer at the minute. So leave me a comment down below. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.